my Flosstube neighbors, and thank you for joining me once again. Today is August 17th. This is my 14th Flosstube video, it's hard to believe, and I'm Chris, and this is XrossStitch. This is a channel primarily about cross-stitching, but there is more to the channel than just cross-stitching, and you'll find that all out, especially if you're a new viewer. And if you are a new viewer, thank you so very much for taking the time to join with me today. I know you have a choice when you fly Flosstube, and I appreciate you choosing XrossStitch Air. So bad, such a bad joke. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and visiting. You know how much I appreciate you. I love hearing from you. I love the interaction that we all have. So whether you're new or whether you're returning, you are most appreciated and you are very welcome. And I hope that you enjoy your time with me today. Last week was an amazing week here because there was such an incredible outpouring of support for Ted's Change Jar. The story that was submitted by my viewer, Sandy Ego Stitcher, was so loved and just so incredibly well received. And what we're going to be doing with the change that is collected at the end of the year, the donation that we're going to make to Dolly's Imagination Library, I'm just so excited about it. If you did not watch the last video, what I'm going to be doing is, from the beginning of my Flosstube videos until the end of the year, the total number of comments that I have will be added together, and that will represent a donation to Dolly's Imagination Library in Ted's name and in the name of all of you, my viewers. The way that works is, if there are 829 comments on a particular video, that's $8.29 that goes into the kitty. And it works if it's 629 or 520 or 200, whatever it may be. So we're doing it all together, and I've had a couple of people incredibly generously offering to match whatever I have at the end of the year. They're going to match it, which excites me to no end. And so many of you have wanted to lend your own support and ask me how to do that. I don't know. The only thing that I can think about doing is starting one of those Buy Me a Coffee links. And I'll do that if that's a route that you want to go. There is no obligation whatsoever. I do this because I love it. I do it because I cherish the interaction with each of you. I do it because I love this craft. I do it because I love telling stories. And I think that we need more of that in our world. And what I've learned is that this amazing platform that just has materialized because of your goodwill for me, it's enabling me to do things that I believe in. And supporting Dolly's Imagination Library and providing books to young children is something that I very much believe in. So when I asked, should I put up do me a Buy Me a Coffee, we're in this together. So if that's something that you would like for me to do, let me know. It probably would be the easiest way if you want to contribute directly to Ted's Change Jar. But again, this is, just let me know. I get real squidgy and fidgety with things like this because I don't want to ever come across as, I don't know how to say it, but I think you understand. So just let me know what you think and we'll move forward. But at the end, at any rate, we're going to be doing great stuff with it, and I'm very excited about it. So that being said, TEAKY, Tree of a Thousand Faces, our good old friend TEAKY over here, you're still seeing things in him. An anonymous viewer wanted to point out that she sees a woman in a dress, which I find very interesting. That's the hair, the yellow hair and the dress. I didn't see that initially, but listen, this is like silly putty back here. It stretches and it bends and you could see all sorts of things. Also, GEERTJE, I said it again. GEERTJE, one of my international viewers, sent me this amazing photograph. She actually saw an angel in this area where right now it looks like a little white kitten, but she saw an angel there. But she sent me this photograph, and I see this ghost. Look over it. She mentioned a ghost too. Is it an angel or a ghost? Well, I see the ghost. So I thought that was really fun. And then of course, my friend Michael over at the Flosstube channel, Star Parade, sends me this cute little outline. He saw a Scottish Terrier, which you could totally see. I think that's amazing. So continue to send me the things that you see in TEAKY. I love them. And we are still, here's the thing with Handstanding Cat. I asked you for your submissions. I asked you to, let's name Handstanding Cat. And out of that, I got a couple of names. I got a name for TEAKY, the Tree of a Thousand Faces. I got a name from my buddy Sal, who will make an appearance later. You were all trying to name the cat, but I've taken the names for other things. But all the rest of them, and there's so many of them, and they're so good for Handstanding Cat, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. There are too many to put on a poll. I don't want to just pick one, because that makes me feel bad. It's like, if I pick one, then I'm rejecting all the rest of them, and they're all very good. So I'm thinking what I'll probably do is I will narrow, see, but if I say I narrow it down, this is not a big deal. Why am I stressing over it? You hear that leaf blower? Drives me bananas. More to come on Handstanding Cat. More to come. On to the stitching now. This past week was not as productive as I would have liked with regard to stitching. The previous week was really great. I got a lot of work done on several different whips, but this past week was a little more challenging just because of you know, our everyday lives. They have their demands, and I didn't get to stitch quite as much as I wanted to. However, what I did stitch on, I loved stitching on. So the first work in progress, or whip, that I would like to show you is my Modern Folk Embroidery MHD 1864, a Zeeland sampler. This is my first Modern Folk Embroidery piece. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I'm stitching on a 36 count linen. This is my second linen experience. My first being my basket of cherries, which uses a very loose linen. This is not. This is great. This is a 36 count Embroidery from Wichelt, and it's so much easier to stitch on. It's so lovely to stitch on. I'm doing it 1/2. I love the colors. I love this entire experience. This is the blues color version of this chart. Again, there are 3. One is very bright and bold. One is a more muted version of those bold colors. And this is a third, which is Jacob's own take, using a blue and green and blue, green, and grayish color palette, which I love. I got a lot done on it, and I just love it. There's nothing more to say. I really love it. This is going to go rather quickly, I think. I think I'm going to be able to, there are lots of motifs, but this is not a very large chart. And I can't wait to get it done. It really is a joy to stitch on, and I'm enjoying, I just love it every time I'm stitching on it. So I focused a lot on the, excuse me, A toad leaps out of my mouth. Just because so many of you enjoyed it and because I love doing it. My second work in progress tickles me to death every time. It's amazing. If you ever told me when I was that little boy sitting in front of the television watching Bewitched in that small town in Alabama that one day I would figure out how to do that, I would have said, no, you're crazy. But here we are. My second work in progress and the other piece that I worked on this week is Glendon Place's Sleepy Hollow. This is your choice for my big spooky summer stitch, and I'm enjoying it, and I have had greater impetus to move along on this, and I did a good amount on this this week. Again, I wanted to get further, but I'm proud of what I did on this because, as you can see, I did the lion's share of this, of the horse's legs, the lower part of the horse, and I even started stitching on the saddle. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece, and I cannot wait to move. It's slow though. I don't know why it is, but I stitch more slowly on this than anything else. And my belief is that it's because of the texture of this fabric. I love it. It's not hard to stitch on, but this is, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll have the information in the notes below, this is a Jobelan, and there's a little bit of stretch to it. So when you're stitching on it, you have to be very careful because there was a section that I was working on, I guess I was pulling too tightly, and I took it all out because it was making the canvas, the fabric, was kind of making it pinch in a little bit, and I didn't want that to happen, so I took that. That was early on in the piece, but I've since learned my lesson. But the point is, this is a slower stitch for me. Several of you who are stitching this may pass me. You know who you are, Crafty Old Man UK. But I'm going to try to stay ahead of you. And there you go. There's my progress on that. We love it. All of us who are stitching this love it. And some of you actually have pulled this out of your stashes, and some of you have even almost finished it, and they're looking amazing. So bravo to all of you. And I can't wait to catch up just a little bit more on this one because I do love it. Again, this is under the hashtag SPOOKYSUMMERSTITCH. So please, if you are stitching anything Halloween, use that and show us what progress you are making. Oh, the Crafty Stitchers in the UK, they also have I think they have a hashtag Halloween in August. So put that one on there too. I'll put that in the show notes below. Glendon Place, Sleepy Hollow. I love it. So now it's time for Chris's Toy Chest. This is a segment in which I reminisce about a toy that I had that was very near and dear to me growing up. And so many of you love this segment because it reminds you of memories that you had. And that's what this is all about. It's about taking a little bit of time out of our day to go back to a happier, less stressful moment in our lives and letting that moment bring a smile to our faces to carry throughout the rest of the day. And to do this segment, I'm going to have some help from my buddy Sal. I think that you all know him and love him. Sal, can you come up here? Hold on, excuse me. He's small, so he needs some. Hi, Sal. How you doing today? Good. Well, today, do you know what I'm going to talk about today? You don't? Well, it's going to be a big surprise. Yeah. So the toy that I'm going to talk about today is the Fisher-Price Sesame Street playset. Yes, very, very excited. You know people on Sesame Street, don't you? Yes, you do. Okay, great. This was a toy. This was a Fisher-Price series toy, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. It opened up, and as you can see, it had so many of the characters from Sesame Street that came with it. There was Mr. Hooper and Big Bird and Grover. There was a sanitation truck with Oscar the Grouch's trash can. You could fit Oscar's trash can in the back, and that was a little spring-loaded toy that you could open and close and Oscar would peep out. So cute. There was actually a chalkboard in the center. The way it opened, as you can see, there was a chalkboard in the center of this thing, and you could, practice your letters or your numbers on there. Another interesting thing about the place that Sesame Street held in my life is that you have to understand, I had no concept of what a city was. And Sesame Street actually was the first place that I saw a neighborhood different than what I was used to. The townhouses, as they have in cities like New York and Baltimore and Chicago and what have you. The different mix of people and languages being spoken, and the different type of markets and newsstand. I mean, I didn't know what a newsstand was. Newspaper landed on the front door every morning. So Sesame Street was not only an amazing educational show for me, it was an amazing show that broadened my horizons. And I think that's, I think that's amazing that it can do that and continues to do that to this very day. So it always will hold a special place in my heart and be near and dear to me. And having this toy when I was a little boy was just the greatest thing ever. I mean, who doesn't love being able to play with Big Bird and Bert and Ernie and Cookie Monster and Grover and all those characters? They were great. What? Really? Grover was his second cousin. What do you know? There was some lovely stitchy kindness this week, and I'm always a bit embarrassed to receive this and to talk about it, but I do want to offer up my thanks to those of you who have sent me some happy mail recently. First off, from Jessa, my viewer Jessa, I got a birthday card. How sweet of you, my viewers, to actually send me a birthday card. That's great. It's your birthday, go to your happy place. Well, I'm in it. I'm in my happy place right now, and that's here with all of you. So thank you, Jessa. Thank you so much for that. My dear friend, Annie at The Proper Stitcher, who is fantastic, and I'm sure all of you have heard of her on Flosstube. She sent me two very appropriate needle minders from Mad for Minders on Etsy. One is a Snoopy needle minder, and one is a Wizard of Oz. It's the cover of the Royal Book, the original Royal Book of Oz. She sent me these two needle minders, which I love, and I did not have a Snoopy needle minder yet, Annie, so thank you so very much. I mean, I'm pretty easy to know what I love, and this is great, so thank you very much. I also received from one of my viewers who had won one of my giveaways, Pam W. She and her husband actually have a shop on Etsy called Wilson 3D Designs, and they sent me, hold on. I just didn't have the energy to Endora it that time. Endora it that time. So they have a shop on Etsy called Wilson's 3D Designs, and she was so sweet. She sent me these, first of all, and these are things that they craft, like they make. And I don't know that I've ever seen anything exactly like it. This is a floss drop that they have in their store for small projects like you can use where you only need a few of them. But get this, you can use it as a floss drop or as a bobbin. It's both in one. I've never seen anything like that. And same thing on this one that she sent. These are all 3D printed. She sent, and these are apparently the same size as the labels of things like Classic Colorworks overdyes and so forth. Again, it can be both a bobbin and a drop. And it has the little slits where you put the end of your thread in so it won't unravel. So that was really cool. And then this little thing, this little container that's an ort jar. It was made for something else, she said originally, but she uses it for orts, and you put them in there and they don't pop out all over the... I just thought these are so great. So thank you, I love them, and I'm gonna use them. And if you are interested in this, I'll put her Etsy store in the show notes below, but she was so sweet for sending those, so thank you very, very much indeed. And then lastly, in the Stitchy Kindness Happy Mail department, I received from my viewer, Linda M., an amazing thing. She sent me this. It's a little Mr. Rogers figurine with an accompanying book. And listen.
Do you have some favorite neighbors where you live? I mean, real neighbors with whom you can talk and play and ask for help if you need it? I hope so.
Now, I had no idea that that was the one that was going to play. And that's perfect. Because I have those neighbors that I can talk and laugh with and play with and ask for help if I need it. And that's you. And that's what we should all be for each other. This is a delightful gift, and I will treasure it. Thank you so very much. Again, I can't hold a candle to this guy right here, but as an inspiration, as a person to strive towards being more like, I couldn't have a greater one than Mr. Rogers. So thank you, Linda, for this. I will treasure it. And every now and then when I need, I will push that little button on Trolley and I will listen to what he has to say. Over the weekend, an amazing thing happened. And the amazing thing was that I hit 3,000 subscribers. I'm humbled. I'm grateful. I just don't know what to say. When I started this Flosstube in my little stitching room, when I was down in the dumps and just wanted something different to pick me up out of the doldrums, I never imagined what it would become to me and how important each of you would become to me. I really mean that, and I'm very, very, very appreciative to each and every one of you for spending time with me. And I hope to continue doing this, and I hope to continue doing amazing, fun, silly, meaningful things with this amazing platform that you all have given me. And I would be remiss if I did not thank Pam from Just Keep Stitching, who mentioned me as part of the #CommonThreadedStitcher event that's going on. Over the weekend, she mentioned me as her favorite new Flosstuber. And my subscribers just shot through the roof. So thank you, Pam. Thank you so much. It's just, you know, it is the support of my other Flosstubers that has gotten me here, and it is the support that I hope that we will continue to give those others to continue doing great things and building this wonderful community. I think it's an amazing place to be, and I'm so happy to be among all of you. But thank you, Pam, and thank you to my new subscribers, and thank you to my regular viewers. Just thank you. It's amazing. So, pursuant to that, next week we will be doing a 3,000 subscriber celebrations giveaway. We will be doing Wheel of Stories again, and I have some things up my sleeve for that. And we will be hopefully talking about more of my works in progress. Hopefully I will get more progress done on those. But that's it for this week. Thank you for all of your feedback, your constant feedback, and your writing me. I do appreciate it. Every comment you make puts another penny in Ted's tip jar. And just with regard to those, I write each and every one of you back, and I love doing it. I'm getting more and more comments because of what we're going to try to do with Ted's tip jar. So please know that if my responses to you seemingly become shorter, it is not because I am not wanting to interact with you. It's just that I do want to write each of you back. I love that. I think that if you take the time to write me, it's incumbent upon me to at least say thank you to you. But just know if those get a little bit shorter than they have been being, it's because I've just got more to get through, and I want to make sure to say something to everyone. So it's not because there's any less interest or anything like that. It's just that I want to get through them, and I want as many as I can get because I want to be able to give a lot of books to boys and girls next year. So, so thank you for joining me this week. I look forward to next week and doing a wonderful celebratory giveaway. I'll have more Under 1,000 Subs clubs next week. We'll do Reel of Stories. We'll have a great old time. But in the meantime, be safe. Take care of yourself. Happy stitching, and take care.